If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I really like QRP radio operation, and one of my favourite pieces of equipment is my venerable FT817. Now these radios are discontinued now, but there are thousands of them out there and people love them, as I do. But they are getting a bit old, and last week I had a bit of a problem with mine and I'm not able to tune it properly. So today in this video I'm going to show how I'm going to try and fix that tuning program on the main dial. Okay, so this is what's happening. Towards the end of last week I noticed that the FT817 was tuning very slowly, as if it was set to a ultra fine tuning mode, which I'm not sure actually exists. So and then eventually at the weekend it just stopped tuning altogether with the main dial. So if you see, if I turn it now, nothing is happening, it just flickers occasionally. I'm on 14060. Oh, a little movement then, but it's clearly not working. If I use the select encoder, that works fine. And if I go into the settings, I should be able to change on and off with this, but I can't. But I can go through with these. So as far as I can tell, everything about the radio is working normally except for this tuning dial. And what I'm hoping is it's simply that this encoder is getting a bit tired and a bit old, and if I just replace it, that will sort out the tuning for me. I'm hoping it's nothing more serious like processors or anything like that. I don't think it is, so I'm going to give it a try and get a new encoder and see if I can just swap it out. Obviously the rotary control is in the front panel, and the front panel is a separate module in the FT817 which you can remove. So first of all, I've removed the knob, which is an obvious thing to do, and some people say they have trouble removing these, and actually this one has a rubber cover which you remove first, and then you have access to the bolt with an Allen key, so that's worth mentioning. And then this, as I say, is a separate model which comes off. So I've already removed all the case screws, and on my radio the side ones also hold on the legs, so they've gone. I've taken off the bottom cover, and now I'm going to take off the top cover. Just put that out the way. I have my speaker here just insulated and with a bit of double-sided tape sitting on top of my filter, so that's not screwed in, and I hope it will stay there. So I'll just actually lift it out the way, and the first thing I need to do is just lift up this ribbon cable and remove it, and keep safe the little ferrite bead that goes round it. So that's the only connection inside the radio. And then there are a couple of tags here. There's a tag here that just holds it in place, so I could just lift that up with my fingers, flip it over, and there are two more on the underside, so let's just lift those up very gently, and then this should just pull away. Oops. And there we have it. And I need to be careful not to lose this rubber washer around the antenna socket. And there's my rotary control. It's screwed in at the front. Now all it does is just unplug here with its little plug, and that's free. And then to remove it, I'm going to use a socket, because there's a nut and a washer, a spring washer, and it is possible to remove these with long pliers, but it's not a good idea because you can damage the bolt and the nut rather, and you can mess up the panel. So I use a socket. This is a 12mm socket, and it should be enough to remove it, and if it isn't, a little bit of help from a ratchet or handle would do it. So there's the nut and washer off, and then the rotary control should just ease out, and there it is. And here's a picture of the actual component which I'm going to replace. So at this point I'm going to put all the parts into a bag or box to keep them safe, keep the radio safe, put the covers back loosely on it, and then I've ordered the new part. When that arrives a bit later today, I hope to be able to put it back together and that the radio will work and tune again as it always has done. the new parts arrived, and apart from brand name, it seems to be completely identical. So I'm very hopeful this will solve the problem. So now, as they used to say in the car manuals, refitting is the reverse of removal. So I need to take off this nut and bolt, line it up with the back of the radio with the straight edge, locking it in place, and pop on the nut and washer. And to do it up, I'm going to use my socket again, and I'm just going to do this hand tight because this is a plastic fitting with a circuit board, and hand tight is plenty. Any sort of tool or ratchet is liable to shatter something or damage some circuitry. So now it's just a question of popping the connector back in, which I'm doing very ineptly. There we go, that's in, and now I can refit this to the board. So once again, I've got my washer in place. I've got to put this cable through. I've got to make sure the tags go under at the bottom and over at the top. There we are, they've clicked in bottom and top. And now put the ferrite ring back onto the cable, which has stuck itself down onto the adhesive. So let's do that. There we go. In fact, it has got a bit caught up. There we go, that's better. And then make sure to line that up and click it in, and just stick the tape down again on the ferrite ring, pop the loudspeaker back, and now I can put the cover on, and then we'll have a look and see if it works and test it. I've reassembled the radio to test it, and I've brought it upstairs and popped it on my desk and attached an antenna so I can test it properly. And if I turn the dial with the rotary encoder, we can see it's changing. That's great, and I can tune in some stations. Quite a bit of activity here, 20 meters just now. Let's change bands, see if anything's going on up here. A lot of noise actually, so let's go back to 20 meters because it's nicer sound. There we are. And if I change a setting, can I go on or off? Yes, off, on. So the rotary encoder is working perfectly. It actually feels a lot smoother and nicer to use than the previous one, so I reckon that was worn out and this has been a very good replacement. So I'm very pleased with that. I've got everything back together and it's all working nicely. So my FT817 is fixed now, and I'm very happy with the outcome. It was an easy, straightforward repair, no soldering, no problems, and it was a bit of a chance I took, but there weren't many symptoms, and I think it would have looked a lot stranger if there was a deeper problem. So I'm happy with the outcome, and I can now carry on with my QRP operation. I've also got time now to continue fixing up my bike so I can get out for a ride in this lovely summer weather. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I enjoyed fixing my FT817 as ever, and I'll be back soon with more videos about amateur radio, electronics and technology in general. Thanks for watching.